Hi friends, this is Gabrielle at Three Trees Chapel. I'm doing my next installment of FAQs. So I'm sitting down this time because I noticed when I watched the last video that I did, wow, I move around a lot and I pace and I kind of rock back and forth. So I apologize about that. So I'm sitting down to try to keep myself a little bit more stable for you. And I'll even take off my reading glasses. I feel like I should buy myself some sparkly reading glasses and just treat it as jewelry because I always have them on. But anyway, so what today we're going to talk about is self-catering. I get this question a lot about, is it all right to use your own caterer? And yes, it is. But you know, we have to have a strategy about how that works. So when you use our caterer, and we use J Street Catering for our published menus on our website, they know the venue, they come, they, set up the buffet, and they leave after that. And in our menus that we have priced on our website, that price per person includes staffing the event, meaning that we maintain the buffet, like we'll refill pans, we refill the drink station, we bus tables, we empty trash, we maintain the bathrooms, we do the transition from dinner to cake, we do the cake cutting and the cake serving on the buffet. And all of our pricing defaults to a buffet setup, though we can absolutely do, plated dinners. We can do china, though our prices default to premium disposables. So that's what's all included in our food packages. So if you want to use your own caterer, essentially all the things that are covered in our food package price would be something that you would need to cover, or we would need to figure out what part we take care of and what part your caterer takes care of. So if your caterer does standard drop-off catering, they usually would come in, set the buffet table, and then they leave after that. So there has to be somebody to staff the buffet table, so to maintain it, to refill the pans if needed, to refill the drink station as needed, to provide drinks, because drinks are included in our food packages. And I'm not talking alcoholic drinks, I'm just talking like lemonade, iced tea, water, that type of thing. Somebody that needs to bust the tables, maintain the bathrooms, clean up spills, do the transition from dinner to dessert, cut the cake, etc. So what our option is that we have posted on the website is that if your caterer does drop-off catering, we can do all of the staffing that's involved for $10 a person. So if you have a 50-person event, that's $500 for us to do the staffing for that event. And the number of staff that we have is really dependent on your guest count, obviously, and what your menu is, and that type of thing, and who it is that is, like if we're in the summer in the tent or if we're in the reception room. So that's how our pricing works, but that's something to think about, because I know a lot of times people want to save money by self-catering, but there's a lot that goes along with that. So if you know what your caterer can provide, so some caterers, we use savory cuisines quite often, they can provide full staffing. So all of those things that we talked about, maybe minus the bathrooms. So they can do all of that other stuff. So if they're catering and you're paying them to staff the entire evening, then usually we can come down to almost nothing with that as far as on our cost. If you have a caterer that they'll work the buffet, then maybe we can knock a few bucks off of what our self-cater pricing is for us to staff it. So it just depends. It's just a conversation that we have to figure out what your caterer does and does not provide and what we need to provide. And then, like, does your caterer provide disposables that go along with that they'll bring that you want to use? Or are you going to provide disposables, or do you want us to quote that for you, or do you want to quote China out? That kind of stuff. So it's all a conversation. Just, I would say, no matter where you go, if whether or not you're looking at Three Trees or you're looking at someplace different, ask all those questions, because there might be things that are included that are not obvious You only have so much space on a website. So there are some things that might not be obvious that they're included that really have value, and vice versa. There are some things that you may feel are included, and then you find out that they aren't. So I would just say ask the question. The communication always key, because that's how you build a great strategy to make sure that there are no surprises for you, there are no surprises for us, and if something happens, then we always have a plan, because we know who's responsible for what, and then we know how to be on top of it. So it makes the day just run really smoothly. So anyway, that's on my self-catering. And I think, if there are things that I haven't addressed that you have questions about as far as self-catering goes, like one question might be, can I use anyone? They have to be a licensed and insured caterer or restaurant. So if you have family that want to cook, there are other issues that can sometimes cause a problem with, just because we have to be obviously safe in the food that's served. And I'm not saying your family isn't safe or your friends aren't safe, but we have to do our due diligence. So we just ask that they are licensed and insured caterers or restaurants. I think that's it. So if there are any questions you have that I didn't address, you can comment on the video. You can email me at gabrielle@threetreeschapel.com. You can, message if you're seeing this on one of the social media sites. But again, I want to make sure that there are never any surprises. So if you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Have a great one.